baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
All right. Greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And hopefully all is going well with you. Know what to tell you, man. Been a nice day if you support a team whose colors are orange and green. I'm just saying, it's looking pretty good if you're trying to go to that land, that promised land. And looks like some of the FAMU players are. One in particular would be Mr. Isaiah Land. And we almost swept Southern for the week. That was, told you, those are my rivals. I don't hate Southern. I don't want anybody to be like, oh man, he just hates Southern. I don't. It's actually, I respect them. It's a very healthy respect because of the parallels between the two universities. They're so close. You're both in capital cities, Southern capital cities. You also share those cities with major universities that have decent, if not historic football or athletic traditions. So just saying, for me, that's my rival. That's the team I can draw a direct parallel to when I look at FAMU. But as we go into that, we're going to look a little bit into FAMU baseball, talk about softball program, tennis, women's and men's basketball. It's almost over, y'all. And we're going to look at the combine results. So that's going to be what we look at inside. Then we're going to look at those last couple years of combine results. And I told y'all last year, or last week, sorry. Or last year, I did tell y'all about Bell. But I told y'all Willie Simmons has been cooking up something. And we're seeing the fruits. So, but before we do all that, big shout out, HBCU Digital Network. This is home. I don't know what's going on with one of my feeds here, but we're going to make it do what it do. Also, Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. And if you did not catch, Herb was on HBCU game day the other day. I mean, look, they ain't paying me to say that. That's at this point, Herb not only can pull up and get a plate, he can leave it at the go box. And look, when he fixes his plate, he can eat off the fine china. Some of y'all gotta get paper plates, not Herb. But that being stated, man, FAMU baseball, it was what it was. I mean, you getting mad about FAMU getting whooped by Auburn. You're not a real FAMU fan. And I'm not saying you're not real because you shouldn't be mad. I'm saying you're not real because you're not being a realist. We're not on that level. And that you knew that going in. Going into that game, you knew it's probably going to be ugly. No reason to get overly upset about it. Just be real. We're not at that level. And so next couple of games, though, we got Jackson State. So I'm excited. Not excited, Jackson State. I'm looking at the women's. Grambling. Sorry. Wrong team. But that's at the Ralph Garr, Bill Lucas Baseball Classic up there in Atlanta. Well, outside Atlanta. At the home of the Stripers. Sorry. I was ready for it, too. The crazy part is my favorite baseball game is MLB The Show. And my baseball player started off with the Stripers. But they are an affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. My former favorite baseball team. I don't rock with them no more, but still a Braves fan. Hey, I ain't nothing against you. I'm just not. I had to, get that up. But we got a 3-game series with them. We play them on Friday, and then Saturday we have a doubleheader. So no intention on going. So that's why I wasn't like, oh, let me go crazy. Like, no, go check that out. Last year we actually did pretty good. Like, this was a good series, and it's a decent team. So I'm just hoping that a lot of us continue to do well, especially a lot of FAMU athletics, but especially baseball and softball, because those are teams that truthfully have a pretty good tradition of winning. And at this point, those are games I want. I've said it a couple times. Baseball and softball, those are my teams I kind of got hope for to have winning records. Outside of our football program, which it's a good program. It is what it is. Get it out a little bit later. Those are teams that I got a little bit of hope when it comes to, hey, we might finish 500. So, again, that game against Auburn, yeah, you can forget that happened. But now we have to do something against Grambling, because I pointed out the other day, hey, FAMU does not do great against teams that aren't HBCUs. It's not something that you or I may want to accept, but it kind of is what it is. And if you're going to have that level of investment where you're getting into baseball games for free, I'm just saying, like, I'll be honest. Last night, ONG, I asked a question and it wasn't a question I was asking to just be an a-hole. I was asking because I looked up there and they were like, oh, yeah, games on this day, injuries free. And I'm like, WTF? How are we at least trying to offset the cost of anything when the baseball games are free again? I mean, I'm not complaining, but we can't do a $5, something, right? Because that's it's not a great deal of money, but it's money. Right? At a certain point, it comes to a point to where if you do take some type of cash or card or something, you're at least able to buy a bucket of balls. But free ain't doing nothing. That's just a drain on the university's resources. So I'm just being honest about that. Like, that's not even being I'm not hating. Just stating the fact. If I'm giving it to you for free, what kind of transactions are happening there? I mean, if you at least took tickets or sold entry, had a decent concession area, you might make a couple $100 a game. That helps offset something. So, because at this point we're pretty much depending on donations. All right, so let me get off that though, because I will get on that soapbox and have before. Now, women's softball, they normally charge, from what I remember, but we lost to Southeastern Louisiana. Another team I'm not overly upset about. I do want us to be a little more competitive. And I think the philosophy is a little different. I'm not going to lie. That coach right there, I think in a few years, if she can keep this up, yeah, she's going to make some noise. And honestly, the women's softball complex looks better than Moore Kittle's field. It just does. I mean, the batting cages look better. You know, the raggedy behind. Well, they're not raggedy, but the trailers are off. The trailers at Moore Kittle's is not a good. It's not a vibe. Whereas it may be a better facility wise, but the women's softball complex actually looks pretty sweet. Like, if you had some new seats there, it wouldn't be a problem. Like, I'll be honest with you. What I would love to be able to see doing, I question if you could, just because of the location of the field. But upgrade the bleachers, improve. They could maybe have a concession area. where you're just selling popcorn drinks, some, honestly, chips, drinks. Let somebody's uncle get out there on the grill and have some fun. That might be all you do, but something. I just think that'd be pretty cool. But I think if you did that just a little bit, you actually have a really nice facility because that turf field pops. It looks really good. Like it is such a difference just to walk down the street. Well, okay, I'm be real with you. I ain't walking for no effing softball complex to Moore Kittles Field. Sorry, that little area between that softball field and that baseball field, not gonna happen. I'll drive though. just being real. It is though. It does look nice. It's a different vibe. Just the field looking different makes it look better because then you look at those batting cages. You got a nice little, I almost said hole, but grassy knoll behind the field. I mean, it could be a nice little vibe. Like have a little something, little picnic out there while you watch the softball. Hey, Sam, you might be missing out on something. Like, I'm just saying, maybe have your little crab boils and everything like that on a Saturday. Get the students out there, charge them a few bucks, send some of them dollars back the way to the softball team. Hey, we got crab, shrimps, and softballs. It could be fun. It's just throwing it out there. It's just an idea. But our next game is against Jackson State, and that is Friday, 5, Saturday at 3, and Sunday at 1. So I kind of want to see. I'm interested. I'm interested to see that how this works with the teams not having as many back-to-backs. That's the extra night in the hotel, and you're not just paying for one hotel. So I'm just putting it out there. We'll see. Now next, FAMU's got tennis against Georgia Southern. That's winnable. Not saying we're gonna beat them, but it's winnable. That's a team that's a little closer to your level. You might have a shot. I'm just being real. I'm a realist. I'm not just a fan. I'm a realist. Now, other thing though, if y'all didn't see, they're planning on building another hotel down the street from FAMU. So check that out. I did see it online. It gives me a little bit of hope. Just saying. Like homecoming wise, maybe not this year, but next year, hotel prices might drop a little bit. I doubt that, but there'll be some competition. Now, women's and men's basketball, in the words of BB King, the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. Like it's over. It's a riggedy wrap. It's over. It's done. You can stick a fork in it. The season's over. And I'm cool with it. I'll be honest with y'all. I had every intention of going to that game at Cookman. Unless you call the ticket office over there, I don't know how to get tickets. Like, and that's not a criticism or a critique. That's just I've been trying to get them to come up on the website. Last year it did. And I was like, I don't want to spend $30. This year I was like, I'll spend it. And I can't get the tickets to come up on the website. So I don't want to drive over there and the game sells out. And then I got to drive back home. Nah, I'm gonna stay home. So that one, and probably got babysitting duty, but even still, I would have drugged them kids to that. y'all gonna get this game today, but hey, it's not that easy for me to get them right now. So call it lazy, call it having other things to do. But I'm not trying to go over and out of my way to purchase those tickets today. That's not my feeling. That's not my vibe. So kind of is what it is. And kind of talks about what happens when it's difficult to attend events and activities. If it's not going to be convenient for me, I'm not going to work overtime to go spend my money, especially when I got to spend gas. Because for me, I got to take tolls. Like most of that way to Daytona is on a toll road, really, until you almost get to Daytona. So I got to take a toll road and then either take another toll or get on I-4. So either way, it ain't something I want to do, but I do want to support fam. So that being stated, though, and I understand they have their challenges over there, but it would be really cool if that were a little easier to get tickets because what they have on Ticketmaster ain't working. But it's the end of the season, and I mean the women we split for the women's and men's against Southern, and I'm trying to not be as frustrated as I was, but that game was it was aggravating. Like we should have won that game, the men's game at the least. I do understand if you're talking about the refs being whatever they were, that's fair, and that's a fair statement and a fair argument. But at a certain point, man, just didn't cut the mustard. Not, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds about the basketball team tonight, just because I really feel like some of y'all do check out my good brothers at ONG, and I agree with Kelvin. We just didn't do a great job this year. I mean, it is what it is. But we had times where I really felt like we didn't take advantage of our talent. We did leave something out there. At this point in the season, it's over. So you're really crying over something you can't change, and I'm not going to do that. Again, I told you I was kind of done with the basketball team last month. I mean, I'll go support, go cheer. I want them to win, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any faith that this was going to be a program or a year where we're going to get a lot out of them. Now, with the women, like I told y'all before, I did have a little more faith, a little more hope. But with the men, I had given up. I'm not going to lie. And the only thing with the women that really gave me hope was that I knew we had a little more depth. And I knew depth was a lot of the problem. But then once everybody got hurt, I was like, bro, kind of is what it is. So hands up on that. And same thing with, like I said, with the men. It kind of runs together, but that Southern game is really kind of a microcosm of the season. You could have won, could have done more, didn't get it done. And then at this point, you kind of wish the seniors well. I'm on the other side of this, though. I want to know who transfers out. I don't think some of your talent's going to come back, especially in the era of the transfer portal where you don't have to sit out time, where it's like, hey, I did what I did. I think I put some decent film out there, and you're going to offer me some more burn. I might take that. I'm just thinking out loud. And you got to kind of be honest about it. You do the same thing. Because some of those players are better than the time and the minutes that they played. And that also makes you wonder with the coaches that not recruited them, that they played for before, what happens to that relationship? Like when you want to go talk to this school and its players and its coaches, what do you tell Dominga Stevens coaches? Hey, we're gonna play your guy, we're gonna get in some burn, we're gonna do all this other stuff, and they're gonna look at you like, sounds good. And I hate when people say that. That I hate. That's one of my pet peeves. Sounds good though. It sounds nice, but at the same point, is it reality? And for me, I question that because we've seen a couple times where the best scorers were on the bench, and it didn't make sense. So at this point, I'm gonna be cool with it, right onto the sunset, get ready for next season. But yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, like I told y'all before, I'm not calling for everybody to get fired. It's 1 year left on the contract. You kind of ride it out. And it's not like, again, Coach McCullum's had success, just not the success that some of us want. But he rebuilt a program. So I'm just saying, I give him that. I'm giving credit. But at the same point, 2 to me, 2 to you. Next season, you can't go out there and run that same offense. Some of the lineups got to change. It's just, it can't be what we saw this year. You're gonna lose the fans, and it's gonna end up past that. I'm gonna leave it there. Now, finally, we're gonna go inside the den, away from all this doom and gloom. Yo, um, I hinted at it last week. Willie Simmons got a little something going on, but the data says he does. Like, let's just look at these past couple seasons, and let's look and let's see what players were sent to the NFL. And I'm talking about the combine. I'm not just saying the graduates. Isaiah Land this year, his 40, official 4.62. At the combine, 4.66 and a 4.7. But his official is a 4.62. Broad jump 10.6, 40 and a half inch vertical. And I'll be honest, the question that I had about Isaiah going into the season was never any of that. It was all coverage. I felt like he was a linebacker. I didn't feel like he was truly an edge rusher because of his weight and size and whatnot. Yo, he looked good. Like, go look at the film. And I'm not gonna do the shameless FQ FAMU Fangs Up podcast plug. Go check the FAMU Instagram, Facebook, Twitter page. Yo, Isaiah Land is all over that, and it was good. Like, he even in coverage, he looks solid. And that was my biggest question going into the season and during the season, well before. I was like, are we gonna see him stand up and play linebacker? Because him sitting and putting his hands in the dirt every play, pipe dream. And we pretty much lived the pipe dream because he showed how versatile he was. Like at the combine, at the Senior Bowl, and he showed how good of a dude he was. Like, Isaiah Land's a really great guy. He's a guy to cheer for. You meet him, respectful dude, like lunch pail guy. Like, I want him to get drafted. I'll say that. I don't want him to get drafted to a team like Buffalo. But that's the kind of guy they love as far as the fan base. That lunch pail mentality, hard work, blue collar. And yeah, he's from that area. But he fits that Steelers mentality. That Cleveland Browns culture as far as like the citizens, not the actual team. Those cities where they're kind of in that Rust Belt area, blue collar people, hard work ethic, hard working people. That's who Isaiah Land speaks to. And I think a lot of teams, you're gonna do really well to get a guy like that on your team. I'm just being honest. And I really look forward to it. I think it's gonna happen. Now, selfishly, I want to go to the Bucks. I'm just being honest. The Bucks, maybe the boys, but I would love to have a little FAMU reunion with the Cowboys. But we're able to see like these players that are getting invited to the combine from FAMU are having really good performances. I mean, we saw what Xavier Smith did at the HBCU combine. dropping that 4.3. But go back last year, Marquise Bell ran a 4.4 at the NFL Combine. Like, honestly, the only thing that probably keeps him from getting drafted is kind of him transferring everything else and all this other stuff. But honestly, it wasn't because on the field he wasn't that good. He was great. His on-field production slipped a little bit his senior year, but at the same point, Isaiah Land has that year. Isaiah Land's senior year, not like his junior year. What you're able to see, you put these dudes in a professional weight training program, and it's different. Isaiah Land gained 10 pounds and looked faster. Like, think about that. Just put that in your mind. You gain 10 pounds and you get faster. You or I gain 10 pounds and we look stronger, more muscular, and it's not a question. That's what happened. Look at Marquise Bell. I'm just saying, Marquise Bell in college, nice build. Marquise Bell in the NFL, he's still a little slender, but he is. You see him in person. That's all I got to say. When you see him in person, he's got he already had that nice height, but now he got a little bit of build on it too. Like, he toned up a little bit. Like, I remember when I saw him in Miami, I'm like, yo, okay, I remember seeing you before the draft. Now, after the draft, you look different in person, and you could see the difference. Physically, there was a difference. And I can tell you, Isaiah Land, there's a difference. I remember seeing him, meeting him, Orange and Green game last year. Nice size, but he was undersized. This year, y'all, it's been like a few months. He looked different. That dude looked different. And honestly, that goes on to show you that we need to continue to invest in this program. Our strength and conditioning coach, I think he's doing solid, especially with the men's sports. I almost wonder if we should have someone that maybe cares a little more to the ladies. And that's only because of the injuries in women's basketball. And I don't think that's his fault. I'm just being real. I don't know what it is, but it's something. So that being said, y'all, man, FAMU, we have a great chance as the NFL draft comes up. If you didn't see, the pro day is on Thursday, the 30th. That's going to be interesting. I'll need to double check what day Florida State is. I'm not going to lie. I'm still a major proponent of regional combines, similar to the HBCU combine, but where the students in a region go to one site, maybe two. Like, it just, to me, it makes sense. Kids from UCF and USF should probably just go to one place. The students from UF, they could have their own. FAMU, FSU, have one and call it a day. Take it to Florida State, have an indoor practice facility, be done. To me, I think that just allows you to get the most scouts into one place. So I won't get on that today, though. That's another soapbox for another day. But just to give a quick recap, y'all, because y'all know I try not to hold you too long, man. FAMU baseball, we are bouncing back off a loss, man. Got mollywopped too against Auburn. Auburn's a good baseball program. They're not elite, but they're consistent. They have a tradition. You're talking about players like Bo Jackson, the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas. Those are guys that come from that Auburn lineage. Next, we have Grambling in Atlanta at the home of the Stripers. Yes, Stripers, like a striped bass. So the Stripers are a minor league baseball affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. So it's going to be up there in Georgia, outside Atlanta. Then softball, bouncing back from a loss as well. And we're going against Jackson State. And friendly reminder, FAMU has not lost a game against a SWAC opponent in softball this year. Just saying. And yes, that was me knocking on wood. And that was on accident. So hopefully we might need that. Also, tennis, we got Georgia Southern. That's going to be on Saturday. That's a winnable game, a winnable match. We're going to see how it goes up. Also, basketball, the season is almost over. One more game and we're done. And hopefully we hit the recruiting trail and we can overcome some of the everything. I ain't even gonna make no excuses, some of the everything. And then lastly, I pointed out, FAMU's got some guys in the pros and that some guys that could be going to the pros. I mean, and yeah, the pros, technically that would be more than the NFL, but still, you're likely to potentially have 3 guys in the NFL at the start of the season. And that's crazy to, in a 3-year period, go from having 0 guys to having 3 in the NFL. And I think we have 2 in the XFL. And we're going to see about the USFL. So it's going to be interesting just to see how this continues to grow and develop, because FAMU football is starting to build a lineage. We're starting to build a tradition of players going to the NFL. And hopefully that allows us to benefit as far as facilities and otherwise. So, but before we head out here, big shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Shout out to Herb Seward and the Black Techies. Check them out. Herb has a basketball space, and he is a basketball fanatic. And at none of that time has he really been talking about FAMU. No, I'm joking. He talks about FAMU. There's just no need to. Sorry, I'm bitter. I'm bitter. But that being stated, as always, y'all, this is Fangs Up. Thank you for listening.